On December 31st, 1944, during a bombing run over Hamburg, Germany, two B-17 flying fortresses collided in midair. Instead of disintegrating, they became locked together in a fiery embrace. Subscribe for more untold World War II stories. This is the incredible true story of the Piggyback Flight, a tale of unimaginable crisis, selfless heroism, and a feat of airmanship that defies belief. As the crew of the B-17, the Little Skipper, fought to survive an impossible situation thousands of feet above enemy territory. In the cockpit of the Little Skipper were 2nd Lieutenant Glenn Rojohn and his co-pilot, 2nd Lieutenant William Leek. Their mission? To flatten the oil refineries in Hamburg. As they approached the target, the sky erupted in a ferocious barrage of flak. The crew watched in horror as B-17s ahead of them were torn from the sky. After dropping their bombs on target, the battered formation turned for home, but their ordeal was far from over. A swarm of approximately 50 German fighters, including jet-propelled Me-262s, Bf-109s, and Fw-190, slammed into the bombers. Though a timely arrival of P-51 Mustang escorts drove off the first wave, the formation was scattered and vulnerable. As they neared the coast, a second wave of German fighters pounced on the now loose formation, turning the sky into a chaotic battlefield. During the melee, a Bf-109 strafed the lead plane in Rojohn's element, the B-17 9 lives, instantly killing both of its pilots. With no one at the controls, the 9 lives began a gentle, ghostly climb, its dead pilots pulling back on the control columns. It drifted directly underneath the Little Skipper. At 12:44 p.m., the crew of the Little Skipper was thrown by an almighty shudder. Looking out his window, Rojohn saw the impossible. "We're riding another fort," he yelled. The 9 lives had crashed into them from below, its top turret and wings embedding themselves deep into the belly of Rojohn's bomber. The two planes were stuck together, a monstrous 8-engined chimera. The situation was catastrophic. The ball turret of the 9 lives was smashed, but its gunner, Staff Sergeant Edward Woodall Jr., miraculously managed to hand-crank his turret and escape into the fuselage. The ball turret gunner of the Little Skipper, Corporal Joe Russo, was not so fortunate. His turret had been pushed down through the roof of the 9 lives, trapping him between the two planes. Through the intercom, the crew of the Little Skipper could hear Russo's fading Hail Marys. Deeply moved and unable to help, co-pilot Leek removed his helmet to give his crewmate a final moment of privacy with his prayers. Meanwhile, engine number 1 on the 9 lives was ablaze. With Herculean effort, Rojohn and Leek braced their feet against the instrument panel and fought to control the two planes' descent. Crashing into the North Sea meant certain death. Their only hope was to turn the unwieldy wreckage back toward land so the crew could bail out. In an incredible display of airmanship, they idled their engines and managed to slowly heave the locked bombers into a turn, heading back for the German coast. As they neared land, the fire from the lower B-17 intensified, cooking off .50 caliber ammunition that spewed bullets into the air around them. Rojohn gave the order to bail out. 3 crewmen made one last, desperate attempt to free Russo from his jammed turret before reluctantly jumping through the flames. On the ground, German anti-aircraft gunners on the island of Wangerooge watched in disbelief. Seeing the doomed 8-engine spectacle, their commander ordered them to cease firing. In the cockpit, Rojohn ordered Leek to jump. Leek refused. "I'm staying, Glenn." He knew Rojohn couldn't control the aircraft alone. His selfless act of defiance saved his pilot's life. As the ground rushed up to meet them, the 9 lives exploded on impact, vaulting the Little Skipper back into the air before it belly-flopped onto the earth, its fuselage splitting open. In the silence that followed, Rojohn and Leek looked at each other, incredulous. They were alive. Thanks to the incredible airmanship of Rojohn and the selfless sacrifice of Leek, 6 crewmen from the Little Skipper and 4 from the 9 lives survived the ordeal to become prisoners of war. Glenn Rojohn, who was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, always maintained that he owed his life to his co-pilot. "In all fairness to my co-pilot," he later said, "he's the reason I am alive today." Their story remains one of the most extraordinary tales of survival, courage, and airmanship in the history of aerial warfare.